All right. I'm sorry, folks. We had the mic muted. Um, and sorry about that. It's our fault. We've been having some computer problems, and we had a complete computer glip, and we're sorry for that. Dennis Floyd, your question. I saw, Dennis, your statement. I was reading it, and Dennis, I didn't realize my mic was muted. But Dennis basically was saying what I was feeling, that Mike Johnson has to go, but we're not sure who we would have to replace him. And we're sorry about the little bit. We lost our screen and everything just for a second. So I've just got basically the website up right now and my name. But you're absolutely right, Dennis. I don't know who would replace him, whether it be Marjorie Taylor Greene or whoever else. But it's not an easy choice, and I'm with you totally on this. And I'm very disappointed in Mike Johnson. I really am. He had a chance to do the right thing tonight. He had a chance to do the right thing, and as many of these Republicans, they just choose not to do it. He had it in his grasp to do the right thing, and for whatever reason, he just didn't do it. And it really is sad when you get down to it. And I'm just going to put a makeshift background up for right now. We have just had terrible issue tonight with the computer. But if you've got a question, go ahead and put it in the house, and we'll take your questions here about 15 minutes. I'm sorry for the audio issue as well. We've got that fixed now. But we're back, and so forth. Any questions? Anything? Questions in the chat? I'll be here for another 15 minutes. Sorry for the audio blip and so forth. And we everything just literally just went black, and before I knew it, we were off the air. So it's just one of those Friday nights. We normally don't give you a Friday night show anyway, so it's a bonus night for you. But sorry for the blip. But this is part two. This is the question and answer session. For those of you that didn't hear me at the beginning, Eve, I don't want to talk about the red heifer tonight. I've heard about it. We went over there. We have. Yes, I have. That's been a old story, Eve. That's an old story. But if you got a question about tonight's show, folks, you've got a question about what we've been talking about with the abortion, Sheila D., they do this, and now we already have had the primaries. Is there any reason why they would vote against it? Was there something else in the bill that was unlikely by the Republicans? You know, Sheila, that's a great question. I don't know. And, you know, the story in Gateway Pundit's a little different than the one in Breitbart. The one in Breitbart said that Mike Johnson, he basically saw something that caused him to vote against this. And I don't know what they could have gave him privately, because I don't care how much the danger is. There's a greater danger to me by tearing our rights into pieces and shredding them up like it's a piece of paper to me, don't you think? I mean, I'm with you. I don't think there was anything in there that should have mattered, but buddy, I tell you what, the way this bunch operates in D.C., there is no telling. There is no telling what backroom deal. See, that's what I'm wondering, if there was a backroom deal that was made, you know, unknown to us, that, again, the media is not going to say nothing about. And that's the other thing that we always get into is what backroom deal, you know, has been hatched. And, you know, it's frustrating. And this is why, again, the politics and these politicians get on our nerves, and they get on every last single nerve of mine, because this is the kind of stuff, folks, that is very dangerous to our country. And it's not a good day for America. That's a great question. I wished I had an answer for you, but I don't. Ezell, yeah, Ezell was on that list, Sheila. He sure was. And I'm just curious. We're back to about 50 people in the chat. Is there anybody in the chat that is happy with the fact they voted against a warrant to spy on you? I'm just curious if anybody is agreeing with these Republicans. In Facebook, we're back up. If you've got a question over there in Facebook tonight, feel free to chime in. We're sorry for the little blip as we got to the question part. We had pretty much said everything we wanted to say tonight. Elaine says, is anyone else getting constant political texts asking how we're going to vote and begging for money? Yeah, Elaine, I'm getting those too. I think everybody is, and that's just election campaign season. I'm getting a lot of them from Trump. I mean, look, it's not just, I don't get them from the Dems, but yeah, I'm getting them from everybody. And they're what they do, they come from so many different numbers. You block one number, and they'll send it from another. And I don't know how you stop that. I have hit unsubscribed, and I don't know. I know what you're asking, and it's frustrating because I had the same text. Elaine, it's a great question. All you can do is just say unsubscribe, you know. I'm not happy about it either. Anna, more of our freedoms are being taken away, and they were taken away tonight. This is a very serious situation, my friend. You're absolutely right, and that's what makes it so dangerous. It makes it so dangerous. Susan Pruski, I keep hearing people are waking up to the truth that we're losing freedoms and slipping fast into communism. I am unsure that people are waking up. Susan, I don't know either. I don't know either. And until, I tell you what's going to wake us up is when Nazi Germany woke up, and before they knew it, Hitler was in power, and it was too late to worry about it then. Because once Hitler consolidated power in Germany, it was a done deal. I don't know what part y'all heard and what you didn't. I know we were getting cut off, and I know right before we started taking questions. Maybe I got it in, maybe I didn't. But I'll just say it like this. Hitler used the stormtroopers. These were punk kids dressed in Nazi outfits, and you've seen these probably in a lot of the movies through the years about Nazism. And they would go intimidate people, kill people at night, assault people, take them to prison, never to be seen from again, assassinate them. And they intimidated the people of Germany. And all the time, the people of Germany thought that these were just an isolated, extreme group of young men that were basically needing to be dealt with by the government. Well, what they didn't realize is that they were not being dealt with by the government because they were an arm of the government. And that was part of their terror. They didn't have any warrants. They shredded the Constitution. They didn't care what due process that before they threw you in jail. They just, if they didn't like you as the government, if Hitler didn't like you and the Nazis didn't like you, you'd get a knock on your door at 3 o'clock in the morning and you'd never be seen from again. That was communism. It's amazing to me that the socialists and the communists hated each other. It's just like Antifa now, the brown shirts. Exactly right, Cleo. Absolutely. Pappy says, Two Bears, cute name. It should be becoming readily apparent that our political system is a uni-party system that is not for the people. My friend, I couldn't say it better. I could not say that better, Pappy. That is part of the problem. It's always been part of the problem. That is an excellent observation. That is an excellent observation. And I'm not sure what the solution to that is. It's sort of like Dennis said about Mike Johnson and not knowing what the alternative would be with him. And I don't know what the alternative is going to be. I think a third party needs to rise up. But right now, RFK, look, I don't agree with a thing Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says. There's a few things that I can sort of half nod my head about, not totally nodded in agreement. I have to hold my breath when I do. He's a Kennedy, for God's sake. But I see him struggling to get his message out, and he's got some points that some of us out here tonight would probably agree with. But he can't even get his points on the media because he's got to go to these individual outlets to even get interviewed because the Democratic Party has shut him down. And the Republican Party is pretty much no different. And I think that's why they hate Trump so much, because Trump has always sort of stood by himself. But folks, let me remind you tonight, and I hope I got the message across in the part one of this show tonight. Look, Trump's just a man. Even if he gets elected in November, and I'm praying he does, folks, he's got 4 years. That's it. He's a lame duck. The second he takes oath of office in January, he's a lame duck president. I don't know how that's going to bode for the country. I don't know if they're going to dig in and say, well, we can hold out 4 years and make sure we, go after him like they did before, neutralize him like they did before. Then you're going to have the same gridlock. You'll just have a Republican in the White House instead of a Dem. It's not going to make a difference. Where it's going to make a difference is in these trenches and in these state elections and these state houses and us fighting out here like we've never fought before. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you, my friend. And the Uni-party thing is killing me, because that Uni-party is why our freedoms are going away. Okay? That's why they're going. Because there's nobody fighting. Both parties are committed to seeing our freedom's gone. What happened tonight, folks, should let you know that the Republicans are not your friends. The Republicans are not your friends. They're just a political party. And that's why Chris is not identifying as a Republican, even though I vote Republican in the presidential campaign. I'm an independent. I've always been an independent. I would never vote for a Democrat in a million years. But I don't like this Republican Party. Never have for a long time. And the voices that stand up to it are basically alienated and isolated. They really are. Any other questions tonight, folks? Cleo says, what will RFK's effect be on the vote? Taking votes away from Biden and or Trump? That's a great question, Cleo, and I think that it's going to be a 50-50 thing. I think he will definitely hurt Biden slightly more because his constituency is more Democrat. The people that would vote for RFK Jr. likely would not vote for Trump anyway. But if you think about the makeup of those that would support his platform, they would be more along maybe the moderate Bernie Sanders type. But he's a moderate Democrat. He's not a Joe Manchin Democrat. I'll tell you who would hurt Trump more would have been if Joe Manchin would have got in the race. Because I think there would have been a lot of moderate Republicans that would have went to Joe Manchin's camp. But RFK is so far out there on these other issues. I think he takes more of the fringe left than he does the right. I may be wrong about that, but I think it hurts both candidates, but it definitely is going to hurt Biden slightly more. And that's just an opinion. I'm curious how our audience feels about that tonight. Who do y'all think he's going to hurt more, Biden or Trump? We got about 7 minutes. And we're going to call it a night. Carol Smith says, a poll should be given. Do you trust the government? I'll put it like this. What was that I saw years ago? Things I trust more than the government. And one of them, I can't remember, was drinking water down below the border in Mexico. You don't remember those commercials of the 70s? Drink light beer from Miller, but don't drink the water, whatever you do. Roberto Duran became famous for that, I think, the boxer. And he's from Mexico, and he had a beer in his hand. He said, we drink the beer down here, but don't drink the water. So we trust the drinking water in Mexico more than we trust the government. But anyway, Sheila says Biden. It's a good question, Cleo. It's a good question. I don't trust any one of them. But I think that, anyway, there ain't no trust of government. Elaine says, I believe America is in a full communist revolution right now. We are, Elaine. We are. Roger Hooker says he believes Biden will be hurt by that. He's way too liberal for a conservative to vote for him. Roger, I agree with that. I do. And Joanne believes Biden, too. We're getting pretty much 100% people think that Biden will be hurt by RFK more. But I will tell you this. I wouldn't put nothing past the voter in America, and I hate to say this tonight. It's the only negative thing I'm going to say all night. I've been feeling a little better tonight. Been in a little bit better mood. I didn't mean to sound so irritable last night. I'll just blame it on the drugs, okay? Blame it on the drugs. But I'm in a little better, more jolly mood tonight. But I got to say this, folks, and I think most people are going to agree with this. I don't trust the American voter. I know they got to vote. I know that people have got to make the decision. But folks, I mean, we have people wearing masks in 2024, 3 years after the coconut virus is long gone. I walked into a restaurant the other day and all the people behind the counter were wearing masks still. I mean, this is the zombie land that we live in this country. And I'm telling you, I don't know where we've lost our way. I just don't know where this country's lost its mind. So, Roger, I tend to agree with you. But I also wonder myself sometimes, we hope that's true, Roger. I hope that's true, okay? That's all I got to say, buddy. I'm with you, man. I do believe that you're right in principle that a conservative would never vote for RFK in about 2,000 million years. But you just don't know people, buddy. I don't know if we can trust folks. That's all I got to say. All righty, we got about 5 minutes now. We're down from 7 to 5 to 4. We're sorry for the blip. This is part 2 of the show. Actually, see, this worked out tonight. You actually got 2 McFiles shows, so that gives you 3 instead of 5 this week. So I just count this one as a separate show, the Q&A tonight. That's how we work things. That's how we work here on the McFiles on a Friday night. Common sense, thank you, Elaine Willard. Common sense is now a superpower. That is the statement of the universe, of the century and the millennial, my friend. You got that right. You got that right. Anything else tonight? If you got something to say. By the way, I don't know if you heard it or not. My mic was probably off. But if you didn't hear, Andy McCabe has now said that the FISA warrant that they served on Trump back in 2020 was wrong. We're glad that Andy's found Jesus tonight. We're grateful that Andy has found Jesus. We are grateful that Andy's found Jesus, which he hasn't found Jesus, but Andy McCabe should be in jail. That's right. Susan says, I worked out on the McFiles. We always do. It worked it out. Worked out. All righty. Let's see here. Any other questions, comments tonight? We're grateful you've been with us tonight, folks. We apologize for the blip. Facebook sort of stayed up. This weird thing about when it shuts down, Facebook the feed doesn't cut off into 2 shows on Facebook. It does on YouTube. And that's just tech stuff, and everything went totally black. I lost everything on the screen here, so it was computer / it was both. It was both the YouTube and the computer. I don't know what the interaction was going on, but anyway. Anyway. Listen, we've been grateful that you've been with us tonight, and I'm going to say goodnight now on a Friday night. I'm feeling better. Thank you all for your patience with me this week. We've really missed being with you. Folks, this is not a hobby to me. This is more than a podcast. We're a network. This is my life. When I'm not here talking to you, I feel out of place. I just love being with you every night. I love seeing the faces. See the names. I don't see your faces. Some of you've got little faces on your thing. But thank you for your interaction with us tonight. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for your prayers this week during the sickness. We got in a couple of Bible studies this week, and we encourage you to be with us every morning around 9:30 Eastern, between 9:30 and 9:45 on the Faith Network. And we're here usually Monday through Friday, here on the News Network, Monday through Thursday at least. And with the election coming up, I will tell you that we'll probably be here on a lot of Fridays as we get into the summer, and doing a lot of these wrap-up shows and interacting with you a little bit more this year as we get closer to November, because it's all hands on deck. It is all hands on deck. And may the Lord bless you tonight. And I want to encourage you folks again before I leave. I may not agree with what President Trump said as it relates to abortion. I can tell you right now, I was not happy with what I saw. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to vote for him. And I encourage you, don't give in to the temptation to throw the towel in on the country. We got to fight harder than we've ever fought. We got to pray harder than we've ever prayed. We got to love each other more than we've ever loved each other. We got to support one another more than we've ever supported one another. We've got to get behind right causes and fight the fight for life, fight the fight for freedom, fight the fight for truth, fight the fight for liberty and against tyranny. We've got to fight the fight to keep people encouraged, not discouraged. And we've got to let people know what's going on in this earth. That is our mission statement on this network every night, is to keep you grounded in the truth and let you make the call and to keep you encouraged and built up. We may do it a little noisy sometimes. We may do it with a little passion sometimes. We may get a little irritated because we're on drugs sometimes. Not that kind of drug. That'll be on the internet somewhere later. McDonald admits he's been on drugs. But it's been one of those weeks, folks. These antibiotics, man, I tell you what, it's rough. But I enjoy what I do. And I'm saying these things to you every night coming from the heart, folks. Of a heart that loves you, loves his country. But above all, I love the Lord. And I'm doing this to help his kingdom. I know a lot of people don't understand why we're not an all-faith network, and we do politics sometimes and justice and other issues, and we just don't do faith. Well, we do both. But when you get down to it, even our political shows are faith-based. And we always bring faith in a way to help encourage you in the faith, to pray for your country and to pray for each other. And I'm grateful for all of you out there tonight. And may the Lord bless you as our prayers. And I'm going to let you go now on this Friday night. And may the Lord bless you and be blessed tonight. And we hope that you will be back with us. I think Sunday will be our next program, the Bible study hour, unless there's some kind of blip again. And we'll let you know. Listen, until then, have a good night, everybody. Be blessed. Put some fire in that house if you enjoyed the show. If you've got further questions, McFilesForum@gmail.com. And be blessed out there. Good night.